Good morning, students. Welcome back in your SS class. From this video lecture, students, we are going to start chapter 4 of history, that is tribals, Tikus, and the vision of the golden age. Right, friends? And it would be the first part of this chapter. So, dear student, right now we are living in a, you can say, a comfort level job, and you can say we are living in a comfortable life. But my dear student, in our Indian society, and you can say in our India and many part of the world, there are many people who live in forested areas. Now, student, we have question here that how they earn their livelihood, and second thing, what kind of life they are facing and what kind of life they are choosing right now, means वो किस प्रकार का जीवन बिता रहे हैं. तो ये हमारे सामने कुछ बेसिक क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. So we have to discuss all these things in this chapter. Right, friends? So before going to start this chapter, first of all, let's think about the topics which we will cover in this chapter. First of all, the introductory part of this chapter. Then we will have one question that because we are discussing about tribal people. So how did the tribal groups they live in the society and how they are earning their livelihood? We will discuss this thing. And dear student, this is the most important thing, that the effect of the colonial over the tribal groups. Means what is the basic effect? What is the basic effect of the colonial rule whenever British government is in India and we are under the Britishers? So what were the impact over the tribal peoples of these colonial rules? And we will discuss about some important uprisings also. Right? So these were the these are the basic things which we will discuss in this chapter. Right? So student, I have already told you in the beginning of the video that today we all are living a comfortable life in cities, and you can say in villages also and towns also, where all the facilities are available for us. Right, friends? But my dear student, do you know that there are some people who are still in the living in the forested areas? Means there are many people. There are many people who you can say who are still living in the forested areas. Now, first question is that who are these people and how they earn their livelihood, और वो अपना जीवन कैसे बिताते हैं, how they live their life in that areas. So these peoples are the tribal peoples. First of all, these peoples are the tribal peoples. Okay. Now, student, in this chapter, we have to study about these tribal peoples. Means in this chapter, we will focus on these tribal peoples and the struggle against the Dikuj. Here, Dikuj means the outsider, and which tribal people are which think about that they are the outsider of their tribal areas. So they had a struggle against these Dikuj. So we will discuss about these things. So here, first of all, I want to tell you one thing, that tribal people, they are living in the forested areas, and you can see that in those areas where as a normal person we can't go, and even their society is totally different from the mainstream of the society. We are living in the mainstream of the society, and we follow different cultures, norms, and other things. But these tribal peoples, they are not from this mainstream of the society. Their society is totally different from the mainstream of the society. Means they have their own rule and regulations which they follow, and even they did not they don't want that any tribal people, any other group, any other member of the other society will interfere in their customs, and you can say in their rituals and other things. They did not want to get any disturbance from the outsiders. So in this chapter, we have to study about these tribal people. Now, the tribal people, they are living in the forested areas, and the main aim of their earning is the main methods to earn their livelihood. It is just only for the shifting cultivation, and you can say the main income source is the you can say that the articles of the forested areas. So in this way, they earn their livelihood also. So in this chapter, we will discuss about this tribal people, and we will focus only on in India. Right, friends? First of all, let's discuss about Birsa Munda. He is a great leader in the tribal, you can say in the tribal society, and you can say he participated in the struggle against these Dikus. Right? In it, थोड़ा सा हम बिरसा मुंडा के बारे में पढ़ लेते हैं. In 1895, a man named Birsa Munda, who belonged to the Munda tribe, he started gaining popularity. And there are many people who believe that he had some magical power with which he could cure diseases and multiply the grains. It was believed everywhere. And even he himself declared that God had appointed him to help the people, means tribal people here, to help the tribal people and safeguard and protect the interest of these tribal people from the Dikus. From the Dikus. Now, student, here Dikus, it means this. It means that outsiders. And who were these Dikus? We will discuss in this chapter. Who were Dikus for the, you can say, tribal people? We will discuss this thing in this chapter. First of all, I'll take a little description of the Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda in 1895. He belonged to Munda tribe also, and started to gain popularity also. And even there are many people who believe that he had some magical powers. According with the help of those magical powers, he could cure diseases also, and he could multiply the grains also. And even he himself declared himself that God had appointed him to help the people and even to protect the interest of the tribal people from the Dikus. Right? So Birsa, he was born in Munda tribe, which is found in Chota Nagpur region of Jharkhand. Right now, the place of Jharkhand, it is a Chota Nagpur region, and Birsa Munda, who belong to Munda tribe, this Munda tribe, it is in the Jharkhand areas, right? And if you think about this tribe, he was that famous among of other tribal areas like Santhal and Orons. Means these are the most important tribal areas. Right, students? Now, students, we have one question, that why Birsa declared this thing, that he would help the tribal people and safeguard them from the Dikus. This would the most important question before us, that who are these Dikus? So I have already told you in the beginning of the video that Dikus, it means outsider. And here Dikus, for the tribal people, it is Britishers. Means here we are using the word Dikus, means the Dikus, they are the Britishers who interfere in the life of these tribal people. So that's why they are saying that these are Dikus, and Birsa Munda would help the tribal people to protect the interest of these tribal people from these Dikus. It means from the Britishers. Now we have one question here, that why did they want to safeguard themselves from the Britishers? Means what had Britishers done which interfere, and you can say which disturb the society of these tribal people? We have to discuss this thing, because something was done by the Britishers, which you can say interfere in the life of the tribal people. So we have to study these things and how they protected themselves from these Britishers. This is the basic thing. So dear student, here I want to tell you one thing, that tribal people, they think that to use the forest area and to use the product of the forested areas, it is their traditional right. They always think that because from the ages, and you can say from the generation to generation, they were living in that particular areas, in those forested areas. So it is because that these tribal peoples, they had their own way of living. They are totally cut from the mainstream of the society. They were living just only in the forested areas. So their society, the beliefs in which they have, you can say that they have faith. Totally, they all were different from the other areas, like from the main cities, from the main villages. You can say that from the mainstream of the society. Their society and their beliefs and their customs, everything was totally different from the mainstream of the society. So that's why if anybody interfere in their matters, they never tolerate this thing, right? So Britishers, they interfere in their situation. So that's why they felt that these Britishers, they will make them slave. So that's why they started struggle against them. This was the basic reason, right, students? Now, students, let's think about a little bit about the tribal groups. The tribal societies, they had different rituals, and you can say that which were not even similar to the society, to the main society, and to the rituals of the made by the Brahmins also. So they have totally different society. Even they did not have any social divisions on the base of caste, like in the main stream of the society. They have their own custom and tradition, you can say that, and they always follow it. They always follow it. And people belonging to the same tribe often thought of the sharing same kinship. It means that if I belong to that particular tribal areas, so the customs and the rituals, which whatever is followed by that particular tribal area, he or she has to follow it. Second thing, the area which he has covered, they have covered. So this was the property of that particular tribal. So it was the property of that particular person also. People who belong to the tribe. This was the things. Right. So, however, these tribes had some social and economical differences also. Means there were different kind of tribal people who are living in still in India, but they have different social and economical customs. But these they were also different from each other also. Means if one Munda tribe is there, so there may be some customs and rituals and rule and regulations. They may be different from the Santals and you can say the other people also. Right. So first of all, let's discuss about how do the tribal groups live in that particular area. First of all, we have to discuss this thing. Then we will come to know about it. What were the basic things? What you can say that what are the main things on which you can say that how the Britishers affect their lifestyle. So we have first question that how did the tribal people live? So my dear student, by the 19th century, these tribal peoples, they are living in different part of the country, and they were also involved in a different kind of activities. Like there may be some people who did, you can say that farming also, they also perform herding also, and even they collect the forest wood also. Means they have different activities to earn their livelihood. Right, friends? So during the 19th century, these tribal people in the different part of the country, they were involved in the different kind of activities. Right? So first of all, what are these activities? So first of all, we will discuss the first activity, that is there are some tribal people who were jhum cultivators. Jhum cultivator, it means shifting cultivators. Right? I think so you are well aware about the shifting cultivation, because this thing is already told you about in the earlier classes. Now I'll give you a brief description about shifting cultivation. In the shifting cultivation, if I will tell you one thing, in the shifting cultivation, the peasant, and you can say that the farmer, he select a particular patch of land in the forested area. First of all, he cut the trees, and by burning and cutting the trees, he clear that particular land. Then he cultivate that particular land for a couple of years. When the fertility is going to decrease, then he left that particular land and moved to another area. So this type of cultivation, it is called shifting cultivation. And in many parts of India, it is known as a jhum cultivation. So the tribal people, they always, you can say that they always earn their livelihood from this shifting cultivation. So there are many parts of India where this shifting cultivation, it is known as a jhum cultivation. So some of the tribal people, they were the jhum cultivators. They were the jhum cultivators. If we think about jhum cultivation, it means that is shifting cultivation. It was done only on a small patch of land, and mostly it is done in the forested areas. Right, friends? The output, it is very low. Just only they earn a little bit from it. So this was the things. The farmer first of all select a patch of land, clear it by burning the trees and by, you can say, by cutting the trees. Then he cultivates that particular land for a couple of years. Means कुछ समय के लिए उस पर वो क्या करता है, agriculture करता है. But when the fertility of that land it is going to decrease, that tribal areas, and you can say that family, it moved from the another areas and left that particular field for the several years. Now, why it is left? The basic reason is that because it can regain its fertility in a very natural manner. This is the basic thing. During the, you can say that whenever we left a particular area for some time, the fertility of that particular area, it is regained again, right? This type of cultivation, it is considered to be the primitive type of cultivation. We can say that it is a primitive type of cultivation, and the output of these cultivation, and you can say these farming, it is very low, right? And we can say one thing also, that due to this cultivation, we have a great loss of our forest wealth, because we have to clear that particular patch of land by cutting and burning the trees. So there is a great loss of the forest wealth during these cultivation also, right friends? So we have discussing that Jhum cultivation in Madhya Pradesh. This is known as a bewar also. In Madhya Pradesh, this shifting cultivation, it is used as a bewar, right? And in many places, it is also known as Jhuming and other cultivation also, right? So there are many tribal people who were the Jhum cultivators, right? Now, second activity which they were done, that is hunters and gatherers. In tribal people, there are many people who were hunters and gatherers. So in India, there are many parts in India where tribal peoples, and you can say these tribal groups, they lived by just only doing hunting animals and gathering the forest product also, right? जैसे कि example अगर मैं देता हूँ, the Khonds, they were the hunters and gatherers living in the forest areas of the Odisha. And they used many forest shrubs and herbs for the medicinal purpose, and they sold these forest products in the local market also. And in this way, they can earn their livelihood, right? Beggars of the central India, they reluctant to do work for any other things. Means in the central India, there is a tribal group that is beggars, and whenever the Britishers they forced them to do another work, like to make the to help in the building making of the roads and construction activities, they were very reluctant about it. वो उसके प्रति मीन्स उन्होंने रिफ्यूज कर दिया, तरीके से अनिच्छा क्रिएट कर दी. And these tribal groups, they often needed to buy and sell in order to be able to get the goods that were not produced within their localities. So this led to the dependence of these people on the traders and moneylenders. This was the things. And in most of the tribal societies, mostly barter system is done. Barter system, it means exchanging of goods. Barter system, it is just only exchanging of goods. Means if the tribal people need something, he exchanged that particular thing with the other product things. And in the previous, you can say that in the past, in our main society also, this barter system is also working, but it has many problems. So that's why this system has been changed. Now we use during the exchange of the product, we use money. But there was a time, at that time we use the product to exchange another things. So in the tribal society, maximum people, they have to depend on the traders and moneylenders, because they require many things which are not produced in that particular areas. So they have to depend on the moneylenders and the traders. And maximum barter system was there. Maximum barter system was there. So there are many tribal people who were hunters and gatherers. Now, another activity is that there are many tribal people who herded animals. Means वो animal को चराते थे. So in our Indian society, there are many tribal people live in, you can say, in the different part of India. They just only lived by herding and rearing the animals and gathering the forest product also. Like if we think about Jammu Kashmir, it is Gujjar Bakarwal, and if we think about Himachal Pradesh, you can say that it is Gaddi Shepherds. So there are many tribal people still who are living just only by herding the animals and by rearing the animals also. And we can say them as a pastoralist. And these pastoralists, they move from one place to another for getting the food, and you can say for getting the pasture land for their cattle and sheep also, right? The Van Gujjars of the Punjab hills and the Labadis in the Andhra Pradesh, they were the cattle herders. And if we think about the Gaddi Shepherds of the Kullu, they were the shepherds, and the Bakarwal of the Kashmir, they reared goats. Means these tribal people, they rear different kinds of animals also. They rear different kinds of animals. Some rear goats, some rear sheep, and even they have some buffaloes also. So different tribal people have different animals to rear the things, right? But when the Britishers, they started to when they became the, you can say that, the ruler of the country, and they want to get more and more revenue, then the Britishers, they made some laws on the grazing of the forested areas, and the activity of grazing, it has become stopped also. So this was the reason why that most of the people, they shown that the discontent, or most of the tribal people, they were not satisfied from the Britishers, because they have made some forest law, and according to these forest law, there some forest, they are reserved, and no tribal people can enter in that particular area. And these were a great, you can say, areas for these tribal people. So that's why they were not satisfied. Now there were some tribal people who took the settled cultivation also. So many tribal of the people, they had begun to settle down instead of the moving from one place to another, and that's why they are starting to use the settled cultivation. Few tribal people like Mundas, they were considered the clan right over the land. Means they were considered that it was their right because this land belonged to them. And it was assumed that the land to be belonged to just only the whole clan. Clan का मतलब है that particular tribe. Clan का मतलब होता है वंश या वर्ग, तो वो उस पूरे के पूरे tribal people की है. So the British officials, they settled tribal groups like the Gonds and the Santals. They were more civilized than the other people who were living just only as a hunt. They are living as a hunter gatherers, and they were the shifting cultivators. So the British people, they saw that if the tribal people, they live in a settled manner, they were more civilized than the other person. That's why they have made a lot of rule and regulation according to which the tribal people have to live, have to confine only a particular area, right? Extraction of the huge revenue, it was the basic aim of these people. So that's why they did so. This was the basic reason why they want that these tribal people must be a settled cultivators, right? Because their main aim is just only to getting more and more revenue, and these tribal people, they never pay any type of revenue. This was the basic reason why the Britishers want that they must live like a settled cultivators, right, friends? Now our next question would be that how did the colonial rule affect the life of the tribal people? Because they have seen that if the people are living in a settled life, it means they are earning more and more revenue. They have to pay revenue. But the people of the tribal people, because they are not living in a particular area, that's why they never repay and they never pay any type of revenue. So that's why they made some rule and regulation. And how these rule and regulation means how did these colonial rules, they affect the life of the tribal people? We have to discuss this thing, but we will discuss this thing in the next video lecture. So you have to watch second part of this video. So right now it's over. So thank you. Have a nice day.